I'm convinced that about half of what separates successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. Steve Jobs. On today's episode, we're going to talk about mindset, entrepreneurial mindset. What does it really take to be a successful entrepreneur? Truth be told, we've all been told the positive words of determination, perseverance, steadfastness, and all of those things are very true. But what will it really take for you to be a successful entrepreneur and to grow your business? Welcome to the Stitched for Success podcast, where we are teaching business and life lessons that will help you launch, grow, or scale your creative business. I am Monica Allen, and I'm a wife, mom, daughter, entrepreneur, author, friend, lifelong learner, and host of this podcast. For over 8 years, I was stuck in corporate and dreamt of escaping. Creating a side hustle with just $700 and having taken the leap over 15 years ago, we have since grown multiple six-figure and seven-figure brands. Being an entrepreneur for over 18 years has afforded me many successes and a few failures. I want to share those with you so you can grow and be successful in your business. Many years ago, if you told someone that you were leaving your what appeared to be a promising corporate career to venture out on your own or become an entrepreneur, people would have thought you were crazy. But now entrepreneurship is cool and often seems glamorous and a bit alluring. We even have terms such as solopreneur and mompreneur as a derivative of entrepreneur. And personally for me, I think they're pretty cool terms. I love mompreneur because I do feel like there's a more powerful meaning when you are a mom and an entrepreneur. It feels kind of superwoman-like to me. With all of this, though, there are certain things that you should know about entrepreneurship. It is not very glamorous. It is not all that it seems. There are definitely many downsides along with the upsides, but I want to specifically speak to you today about mindset. There's a certain mindset that you will need to have when entering entrepreneurship, especially if you want to be successful in your business. I'm going to share 3 or 4 of these things with you today, things that I realize are key when starting on this journey. And then over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to bring you episodes with some solopreneurs who add some additional qualities that are also important to entrepreneurship. First mindset shift is you will have to give up something. Now, we live in a world where we want it all. We want to have it all. But truth be told, you will have to give up something. Sometimes in order to create something new, we need to let go of something old. In order to clear the path to creating a new business, something else will have to fall by the wayside. I personally am not a big sports fan, and though I do enjoy binge watching a good Netflix series, I actually do not watch a lot of TV. I'm not sure what you'll have to give up. It may be TV, it may be extracurricular activities, it may be cooking a gourmet meal every night. You may have to give up keeping your home super clean and uncluttered. Who knows? You may have to give up sleep, a little sleep. I don't necessarily recommend that, but I do give up a lot of sleep. But the whole story or the whole point is you'll have to give up something to make space and time for your business. This is especially true if you're a side hustler and working a 9-to-5. In order to grow your side hustle, you will have to work on your business in the evenings or on your off time when you're not at your other job. Of course, if it is something you're passionate about or you truly desire to accomplish, this will not be a big deal because you will want to work on it. You will not feel like you're missing out on anything because you love what you're doing and the value you're contributing to your customers and to the world. A quote that I really like and that keeps me going is, "Live like no one else, so later you can live like no one else," from Dave Ramsey. I like this quote because it acknowledges that we may have to temporarily give up some things or sacrifice for a greater good or better life down the road. Don't get me wrong, you do still want to have time, make time for your family, friends, and some fun. I do have a lot of fun in my life. But again, you will have to give up some things. Second tip, you will work harder than you ever did for someone else. Because truth be told, as an entrepreneur, we eat what we kill. In my corporate job, I typically work 40 to 50 hours per week, especially on days when I work from home. I would work a little bit more. But owning my own business, I really work all the time. it's very difficult for me to turn it off even when I try to. I'm often thinking business strategy. Ethan and I are often discussing new ideas or changes or tweaks we need to make to be better. And before kids, I would often work from 7 in the morning until late into the night. I would take a break in there to work out, eat a quick lunch, and we always ate dinner late. I'm talking 10 or 11 o'clock. I do not recommend this because it is not the healthiest option, but that is what we did at the time. Now with our kids added into the mix, we still work quite a bit, but we make time for dinner and bedtime routines. We may dive back into work after the kiddos are in bed though, but again, it often doesn't feel like work because we enjoy what we're doing. This podcast episode is brought to you by Zeus's Closet. We like to say we're like a tattoo shop for your clothes. When we initially opened our store, we opened it with the thought of being a Greek boutique. We did not specifically want to show our own personal Greek affiliations, but we thought staff members could simply wear their normal business casual clothing. However, one day someone pointed out to us that you all print shirts and embroider shirts, so why don't you wear your logo? I am not quite sure why this had never occurred to us, but we did start wearing our own promotional gear and our logos on t-shirts and polo shirts and sweatshirts and jackets. And when I tell you it made such a big difference in our business, it truly did, because I would go into a grocery store or Target, one of my favorite stores, and I would often get asked, what does a tattoo shop for your clothes mean? And I would have the opportunity to explain to people what our company did. It was almost as if once we embraced the full capacity of our business just took off. I say all that to say we currently have a solopreneur package so you can get your own company gear. You can save 20% by simply using the promo code STITCHED. The link to the package is in the show notes. You are your biggest brand ambassador. Make sure you embrace it and show up wearing your logo so people remember who you are. Next, consistency is key. Personally, I am not a very consistent person. It has gotten better as I've gotten older, but my bedtime is still sporadic and I don't always work out at a consistent time each day, especially during the summer. However, when it comes to our business, our quality, levels of service, and operations is consistent. We are, of course, always working to be better and do better, but consistency is key. And I can tell you, I've heard so much about consistency lately because whenever I'm in a social media room on Clubhouse, because I'm always trying to learn more about social media. I'm no social media guru, but I'm trying to learn. And showing up consistently within your social media is so important. But not only is it important in social media, you need to be consistent in your branding and your messaging. You have to show up consistently for your customer and for your business. So consistency is key. My next one is, before you leave your day job or venture onto your own entrepreneurial path, I want you to assess a few things about yourself. Ask yourself a few questions. Are you a leader, and do you like being a leader? Even if you are a solopreneur, you will have to lead yourself to get things done. And then once you start hiring people, you will have to lead them as well. Even if they're not your employee, but you're hiring a virtual assistant or you're hiring a freelancer, you have to lead them in order to get things done. Another question to ask yourself is, how do you work on your current job? I have mentioned this one before. A lot of people think they will give it their all once it's their business. But truth be told, you won't. You can show entrepreneurship in your current job. Do you do that? Are you entrepreneurial in your current position? So just a few questions to think about. And lastly, perseverance. Entrepreneurship has its ups and downs. There were days, weeks that I had no idea how we were going to make payroll. Absolutely no idea. That is very, very stressful, especially when you have a team that's relying on you for their livelihood. But you have to persevere. You cannot give up. Even when a customer is upset about a situation, you have to step back, figure out what went wrong, figure out what's the solution for this particular situation, and then figure out how can we make sure this does not happen again? What's the solution? What went wrong in the operation? All of that is about persevering through the tough times, persevering through the difficult times when the money may not flow in the way you anticipated or how you expected. A product didn't turn out the way you thought it would. A vendor didn't come through the way you thought they should or they would. So perseverance is key. I wanted to bring up the subject of entrepreneurial mindset because a lot of times if you have friends that are entrepreneurs, you really might not hear all of the good, the bad, and the ugly of entrepreneurship. And I don't want to scare anyone. I don't want you to think that I'm not supportive, because I am, and I want to help you in any way that I can. So I really do think as you're venturing onto the entrepreneurial path, it's really important that you go in it with your eyes wide open. There was a lot of things that I did not know about. I mean, even little minute details of buying a building, securing a loan, just things that I was not aware of. And we didn't talk about those things today, but just your mindset has to be on point and right when you're stepping onto this journey. Again, I don't want to scare you, but this might not be the right time, or entrepreneurship may not be right for you. Sometimes I wonder if it's right for me. But a couple of years ago, I did try to follow another one of my passions and I did get a job, and it wasn't for me. So entrepreneurship it is. But one of the things, no matter what you're doing, whether you're working in a career or you're going on your entrepreneurial journey, the key is to enjoy what you're doing. I like to say enjoy it. If you enjoy it, whatever your it is, you will be fine. Now, you do have to have a market. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to have a market. You have to solve a problem. And I've talked about that before. But if you enjoy it, then it really won't feel like you're giving up anything. It really won't feel like you're working a lot. And honestly, consistency and perseverance will be extremely easy because it's your baby and you want to give it all you got. So enjoy what you do. That is very, very important. And it's key to being able to get through all of the hard stuff. Thank you so much for listening today. Please follow me on Instagram and TikTok. They're both at Stitch for Success. We also have a Facebook group by the same name. And we just want to be there to support you. If you have any questions or you have any thoughts about your business, you can ask them in the Facebook group. You can also direct message me on Instagram. If you're already subscribed to the podcast, thank you so much for your support. If you're not, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. You can actually click the link in the show notes to rate the podcast. Thanks again so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out the link for the Solopreneur package. The link and the promo code is in the show notes as well. Thanks again, and have a great one.